The human journey is a journey of immense spiritual courage. In this video, we will examine the practices to help you honor and celebrate this journey. Understanding the human journey. The goal of human experience is to learn to manifest higher consciousness. The learning happens in the school of duality, which presents a contrast between opposites. What makes this journey difficult is that the learning must happen in a state of forgetfulness. The forgetfulness is created by the mechanism of the veil, which blocks the knowledge of our true nature, our connection to the source energy, and to all of life. Due to the veil, we perceive ourselves as disconnected, limited, and flawed. The illusion of separation creates fear, which is the source of all human struggle with life and with other human beings. The struggle traps human consciousness in the battle for control over others. In this state of spiritual darkness is where we must learn to exercise free will and grow spiritual strength. If you are new on the spiritual path, the darkness on this planet may seem overwhelming. This is because you see darkness as an obstacle, rather than a catalyst that accelerates your evolution. To understand the concept of catalyst, imagine being born on a planet where you lived in perfect harmony with others. Such a planet would not suffer from the earthly problems of poverty, greed, conflict, and war. Now ask yourself, how much would you grow on such a planet? What spiritual qualities would you cultivate in an environment of pervasive ease? The answer is, in the absence of spiritual resistance, there would be no spiritual growth. You chose Earth, a planet of seemingly insurmountable challenges, knowing that only the most courageous of souls dared to incarnate here. Honor your courage, honor the challenges that sharpen your will, and learn from the most exquisite dance of consciousness, the dance of opposites. To immerse in this dance is to know both euphoria and despair, both companionship and loneliness, passion and weariness, profound peace and maddening agitation. Opposites offer you the variety of colors in the palette of consciousness. By using them, you cultivate the wisdom that only the human experience can offer. Rejoice in the opportunity to dance this unique dance. The 5 gifts. There are 5 gifts that can help you celebrate the human journey. No one else but you can give these gifts to yourself. The gifts are remembrance of your connection to source energy, wholeness, learning from joy rather than suffering, turning within, and love. The first gift is to remember your true nature as a portion of the source energy. You may see yourself as a flawed human being, but underneath the flaws lies the infinite potential, the jewel underneath the dirt. The jewel is the gem of consciousness itself, which comes from source energy. Not only all consciousness, but all that exists arises from the source. The understanding that you are one with source energy is called non-duality. This remembrance is a channel that reconnects you to the source and invigorates you through the connection. Let's watch a short video to understand non-duality.
What lies at the core of existence? According to advanced physics and the direct experience of mystics, it is pure, conscious energy. Let's call it unity, which emphasizes that it is the only underlying reality. Since unity is all that exists, paradoxically, it runs into a limitation. The limitation is that it cannot have an experience, because to experience it would need something outside of itself that would act as the object of experience. And so, unity splits itself into an infinite number of individual consciousnesses and becomes infinity. Since unity was pure consciousness, each of its portions is also pure consciousness. But now each is capable of perceiving others. This state, where an infinite number of consciousnesses exist, and are aware of their oneness is the state of connected infinity. There is a knowing that all of existence is an extension of the Self. The Self can explore consciousness in infinite ways through its interaction with infinity. The state of existence within connected infinity is perfect, but, paradoxically, the perfection excludes a unique and invaluable experience: separation. Now you may think, why would any consciousness choose to experience separation? The answer is that there is learning that can only happen in separation. For example, consider power, something we all explore as human beings. In the state of connected infinity, the concept of power cannot exist, because all consciousnesses know themselves as one. It is only by perceiving themselves as separate from others that people can cling to power. The way the separation happens is through the mechanism of ego. Here, the word ego is used as a spiritual term referring to the false self. This is different from how the term is used in psychology. The false self is created by identification with what you are not. For example, you may think of yourself as a man or a woman. Identifying with a specific gender creates an entire set of beliefs and restrictions. In reality, you are neither a man nor a woman. You have a body that comes with a gender, but just as you don't become a chair by having a chair, you don't become a body by having a body. The false self hides the true self, just as a blanket wrapped around a light bulb hides the light. For physical incarnation, there is yet another layer the self creates, the layer of personality. Personality offers unique characteristics to perceive and interact with existence. For example, an adventurous personality allows people to explore freely. In contrast, a timid personality allows them to be more calculative and cautious. Neither is better than the other because each serves a unique purpose. When there are as many such selves, all hidden under the structures of ego and personality, oblivious to their oneness with each other, they can play the human game. A game of infinite complexity, growth, and beauty.
To celebrate our oneness with Source, let's contemplate a few of the timeless teachings on non-duality. The first one comes from the ancient tradition of Vedanta.
Various sages have described this ultimate truth in different ways. Perhaps the clearest explanation was given by Shankar, who wrote a small poem called Atma Shatakam, meaning 6 verses for the self. The poem says, "I am not the mind, nor intellect, nor ego, nor senses. I am beyond. I am none of the triad of the observer, the process of observing, or the object being observed. I am all-pervasive. I am without attributes and without form. I have attachment neither to the world nor to liberation. I have no wishes for anything, because I am everything, everywhere, every time, always in equilibrium. I am indeed that eternal knowing and bliss, that love and pure consciousness, the Supreme Being."
The second one is fairly recent in human history and comes from the raw material.
Perhaps the best explanation of non-duality comes from the raw material, which calls non-duality the law of one. You are everything, every being, every emotion, every event, every situation. You are unity. You are infinity. You are love light, light love. You are. This is the law of one.
The second gift is to acknowledge your wholeness. You are whole at this moment. You are whole even when nothing about you seems to be going right, and even when you struggle in the abyss of despair, abandoned to the catastrophes of your own making. Regardless of your creations, you are whole because you come from source energy. This is difficult to fathom if you have been conditioned to think of wholeness in terms of perfection. You imagine that you'll be whole someday when you arrive. The concept of perfection is rooted in judgment. It is a harmful tool to evaluate the human journey, because when you judge, all you create is guilt, shame, unworthiness, and disharmony. Further, judgment separates you from source energy and imprisons you in ideologies. All ideologies are distorted creations of low consciousness and bind you to darkness. An acknowledgement of wholeness is an affirmation of your inherent worth, which gives you the strength to make the human journey a pilgrimage to your highest potential. In wholeness, you can drop the heavy burdens of guilt, shame, and unworthiness. These burdens make you weary on the journey. Drop them and be free. At a more practical level, wholeness helps you appreciate your stage of life and make the most of it. Each stage of life, youth, midlife, and old age, contains unique gifts of learning and being. When we appreciate our stage of life, we receive the gift with grace. Youth contains unbounded energy and freshness of perspective. Midlife contains spiritual maturity arising from experience and reflection. Old age contains refined wisdom and patience. When you acknowledge the perfection of each stage, you create harmony and wisdom. A well-lived life integrates all stages of life to create a mosaic of beauty. The third gift you can give yourself is to learn from joy rather than from suffering. On the human journey, you have two teachers, suffering and joy. When you are unconscious and unwilling to learn the lessons, you learn from suffering. Suffering is a harsh teacher, but the lessons are impossible to ignore because of the pain they inflict. As you awaken to your purpose, you find a better teacher, the teacher of joy. Joy can take you much farther than suffering can, because joy aligns you with the creative energies of the universe. Joy holds the key to the transformation of your own life and the lives you touch. Learning from joy requires listening to your heart, rather than the noise created by ego. The call of your heart may seem foolish, yet it comes from your authentic self, and when you follow it, you play your part in creating a planet of joy. Listening to this call is the great gift you can give not only to yourself, but to the entire creation. The fourth gift is turning within. Stop seeking happiness and meaning outside of yourself, because they are not outside. Modern society conditions people to seek happiness in the external, in possessions and consumption, success, power, or relationships. This conditioning ignores the core truth of human existence, that all of your experience comes from your mind. The inner journey is about understanding your mind and the power that animates it, consciousness. Develop the inner understanding by spending at least 30 minutes every day on spiritual disciplines of study, contemplation, and meditation. The fifth gift is love. Love is not a feeling or an emotion, but the guiding principle that inspires you to choose from higher consciousness. When you choose with love, you create harmony, joy, and growth. When you don't, you create fear, negativity, and conflict. Love offers compassion to all beings, including yourself. Self-compassion helps you let go of the heavy burdens of self-judgment and feelings of inadequacy. Offering compassion to others heals them by affirming their divine worth. Start by offering love to those who are closest to you, your family and friends. When people are close to us, their flaws are all too obvious. It's easy to judge them rather than love them. However, The metaphysical truth is that you chose to incarnate with them because of a spiritual bond you share with them. This bond has likely been there for many incarnations, and once again, they accompany you in this incarnation. So love them to the best of your ability, regardless of their flaws, because your connection to them is deeper than what you perceive. As you evolve further, love expands beyond close relationships and stretches out to all of humanity. It becomes service, which is an offering of your highest self as a gift to creation. Service is your highest calling, and when offered without any expectations of return, it has the power to transform everyone it touches. True service heals others and inspires them to seek higher consciousness. The human journey is about evolving to the stage where life becomes an offering of grace. We will end this video with a sacred invocation that underscores the power of grace. Let us journey from falsehood to truth, from darkness to light, and from death, which is an illusion arising from ignorance, to immortality, which is our true nature.